What's happening, everybody? Steve here, Cars with Steve, and today I'm going to show you everything you need to know about the media screen inside of the 2022 Hyundai Elantra. Going to be going through everything, how to set up Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and things like that. Now, this specific one is more of the base screen, so the one with wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. If you're in some of the higher trim levels with the wired connection instead, check down below for that fuller walk around. But let's dive into it and see how this screen works. Next up, let's take a look at the media screen for the vehicle. Now, this is going to be the base screen. We do have the option for a slightly different one inside of the higher trim levels of the vehicle, and in Canada in the Ultimate when we get the added technology package. But one thing to think about, this screen here, the base screen, actually does support wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay versus the larger screen, which is a wired Android Auto and Apple CarPlay instead. Well, let's kind of go through all of the different options so you can figure out exactly what's going on with the screen. So starting off here, this is going to be the main screen you're going to be met with when the vehicle's first turned on. Obviously, looking at the very top there, we do have our menu button, so we can edit our individual widgets. We can have it for our radio, for our phone projection, for our clock, etc. We can edit out the right one. So we do have the flexibility of being able to edit out these widgets, which is definitely a nice thing. Moving back again into our menu, we've got our edit home icons, and then we've also got our QR code scan in order to get to our user manual. So literally all we're going to do there on our phone, we're just going to scan the QR code there, and as you can see there, it's letting us know that we can adjust and open up. Takes a few seconds there. Aha, daylight savings time. All right, I'll fix that one in just a second. But as you can see there, we do have our full system there as well. So we've got our QR code scanning in order to get to our user manual instead. So we can press back, we press the clock along the very top there, and as you can see, we do have a series of other options that are available there, so we can easily, adjust for daylight savings time. There we go, okay. Daylight savings time on or off. So it's off right now, which is perfect. And we can switch between our 24 or 12-hour mode there instead. So pretty straightforward. But back along the very top, series of other options there. We've got whatever mode we're currently in right now. So for media, we have a series of options. So we've got our Bluetooth, audio, AM, FM, etc. We can move between different modes easily that way as well. So quite a few options there. We've got our radio button in order to literally flip into between our radio there. We'll get to that one in just a second. All right, so we've got our all menus button there, and as you can see, we have quite a few different options that are available. So let's kind of go line by line so you can figure out exactly what's going on. So starting off with phone there, so adding a phone in is super straightforward. So as you can see, it's asking us for our preferences there. Do we want to allow hands-free calling or strictly Bluetooth audio? So if you didn't want to connect your phone, if you just wanted to listen to music, you've got the flexibility to be able to set which one you'd like. We're going to do both of them for now, so we're just going to hit OK there.
Turn Bluetooth on from your device in order to search. On your device, select the name that matches vehicle name on the screen.
And we're just looking for Elantra there, so that works, and we're going to pair up. Do we want to allow contacts and favorites to sync? As of right now, I'm going to say no. All right, and we are fully connected there. Do we want to allow CarPlay? So literally this simple. So as of right now, I literally just set this thing up a second ago. It's asking me, do I want to allow CarPlay? Yeah, we definitely want to do that. So we're going to hit yes. Do we want to connect? Yes, we want to do that. Okay, Apple CarPlay, do we want to use it? We have to turn on Bluetooth devices, GPS information, etc. So we're going to hit next. And it gives us a few other options there as well. So same idea, we have to hit OK in order for it to work. And as you can see there, we're connected, 3, 2, 1, and it is now there. So as you saw there, super straightforward to be able to not only connect. So if we go back home for a second there, we've got our phone, and we can literally jump through our favorites, recent contacts. We've got the dial pad and things like that as well. We've got all of our information along the side there for our actual phone. Same idea, we can jump back to this main screen to jump inside of this. But looking, we've got our CarPlay along the side. If we were in our all menu, we've got Apple CarPlay there as well. So that's one of the great things, because this base screen doesn't have factory navigation, but by connecting CarPlay, we do have Apple Maps, we've got Google Maps, and we've got Waze, and we can use them all directly through this middle screen, which is definitely a nice thing. Now, if we press the voice command prompt on the steering wheel, so as you can see there, we do have our Siri Assistant as well. We can press this main button in order to get back to this summary screen. Now, one of the nice things about CarPlay is that we have the flexibility of being able to adjust this. So if we go to CarPlay, we go to Elantra, we can customize the playlist, or I should say the outline here. So let's say if we wanted to have podcasts up front along with our audiobooks, we can easily adjust that one. If you didn't want the calendar there, if you didn't want Google Maps there, or let's say if you accidentally deleted your audiobooks there as well. So we're going to go delete, remove, it's gone. If we scroll down, it does show up along the very bottom, but if you've kind of done a little bit too much, like you've played around with this a little bit too much, you can just hit reset along the very top, reset layout, and that brings us back to our factory default screen instead. So that same layout as when we first started. So it really is that simple, being able to connect through, and it's really straightforward using this thing as well, because we still could use our Siri assistant to say things like navigate to such and such, call such and such person, whatever the case may be. So quite a few options. We can get Siri to play music, etc. LiveX Live is a radio app, and it is nice to know that we've got that option. Now, not every app will work directly through Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. One of the ones I can think of offhand is Spotify. So the Spotify app won't work through Apple CarPlay, but if you're just connected through Bluetooth audio, it's the same way with the YouTube app. Bluetooth audio will work fine, but the apps themselves won't work through this middle screen whatsoever. So if you're kind of frantically going through with YouTube, with other things, trying to figure out why you can't view videos and YouTube and things like that on this screen, that's the reason why. Not every app is compatible with this screen. So something to think about there. We can press this button to go back to the main screen. We can press Hyundai to jump back into this Hyundai main screen for the media screen instead. So as you can see, they're fully connected, and removing a phone is actually very straightforward. So let's say if we were on the main screen there, we can press Setup, or we can go to Setup here instead. We can go to Device Connections, or we can go into Phone Projection, and that's going to be for either Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. We can add in multiple devices. We've got our menu, or we can disconnect there as well. So it's disconnecting Apple CarPlay. If we go into Bluetooth, we've got a series of options there as well. So Bluetooth, as of right now, it's disconnected because I just disconnected it to connect to CarPlay. I can reconnect there as well if I want to, so that'll just take a second. I'm doing this with something very specific in mind. So as you can see, so fully connected there. Pretty straightforward. If we move back, we've got a series of options. So our connection priority, if we had multiple devices... because I said no. All right, so that normally doesn't happen. If you say yes, it will download your contacts there. But if you had multiple phones connected, we could literally just do a drag and drop. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. We've got our voice command prompts and a number of other things. So privacy mode, or we can reset. So quite a few different options there. And that's how we connect an iPhone to the vehicle. And it literally is that simple. All right, now, connecting an Android device is literally the exact same process. So if you're not on this main screen here, let's say you're on this screen, we can jump into Phone, we can jump into Setup, Device Connections, and then we've got a few different options there. So we go to Bluetooth, and then we can add in a new device. And same idea, we just want to figure out what we want to be adding in. So do we want to allow phone calls? Do we want to just have Bluetooth audio? We've got a few options there. And then we connect through. So as of right now, because we're adding in another vehicle,
turn Bluetooth on from your device in order to search. On your device, select the name that matches vehicle name on the screen.
Pairing up, perfect. We want to make sure the passkeys are the same, and they are. It's going to take a second there to actually connect, and as you can see, we're connected, and the device supports Android Auto. So wireless Android Auto, do we want to connect? Yes. And look at this, look at us. Okay, and it's also asking us, do we want to allow contacts and messages, etc., but it'll come back up to that one once we finish this up. So we're going to continue setup, and on our phone, let's just deny this one for now. Perfect. But as you can see there, we are fully connected. We've got whatever recent destinations are there. We can easily search that way. We can press the voice command prompt on the steering wheel as well for our Google Assistant. And because of the nature of Android Auto as well, we can say, hey, Google. And that also brings our assistant to life as well. We've got this button along the very bottom for our traffic, our guidance options. So if you'd prefer to, mute things out, if you don't want to have, look at toll roads and things like that, you've got a few options there. We can press the bottom button there to get into our podcast, jump back into Google Maps. We've got our notification center, and we can push there for our Google Assistant as well. This button brings us back into this main screen for the actual Android Auto. So pretty straightforward there. We've got podcasts, we've got news, reminders, and a few other things. And now, very similar to what we saw on the iPhone side of things, we do have the flexibility of being able to adjust this a tiny little bit. So if we look for Android Auto in our settings, we can connect through. And as you can see there, we can see what car is currently connected. Previously connected vehicles, we can customize the launcher. So same what we saw on the iPhone side of things. We can literally just kind of do a drag and drop in order to drag these things wherever we'd like to. But unlike the iPhone side of things, whenever we make a change here, we actually do have to restart Android Auto on both in order for the changes to take into account. So it's not a dynamic update, but we still do have the flexibility of being able to customize this if we really wanted to. Moving back, we've got our Google detection there. So as we heard earlier, we've got our Android Auto while the screen is locked, yes or no. We've got the Google Assistant. We can disable weather if we wanted to. We can disable wireless Android Auto as well. So there is quite a little bit of flexibility available inside of this system. Now, if we go back, same idea. So we can button press to get back in one or the other. We can press Hyundai in order to go back to this main screen. Now I want you to look at something for a sec. We press Setup there. We've got a series of options, again, going into our device connections, and we've got connection priority. So we've got 2 different phones currently connected, so we can literally just kind of do a drag and drop. So if you want to have one phone connected first, so if the vehicle recognizes 2 phones, who is going to get connection priority? You've got the option of selecting whose phone is going to be connected first. And then back into our phone projections, we do have our Android Auto connected. We can reconnect easily to the Apple CarPlay side of things if we wanted to. We go back into our connections there. We can add in another device if we want to, or we can delete. We can mark specifically this one right now. I'll show you why in a second. So we delete. It's actually just because I'm connected through Android Auto, so I would have to disable that first, but we're deleted there on the first one. And now same idea, we can delete because we can't, and we can't because we're not disconnected from Android Auto. So we have to go phone projection, disconnect, and that's the same on Apple CarPlay. So we have to disconnect from either Android Auto or Apple CarPlay first in order to go into our connections, and then we can just delete the device very simply that way as well if we wanted to. And as you can see there, it is deleted, and it really is that simple to be able to do it. So hooking up Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, etc. inside of this vehicle wirelessly is super straightforward. All right, now that's the basics of connecting a phone. So moving back again into our all menus, we have a series of other options there. Our Blue Link system, so we have a few different options so we can see what's going on with our vehicle diagnostics, maintenance, or different settings there. We do have a built-in modem in this vehicle as well, so we technically could use it as a wireless hotspot, but we do need a data-only plan in order to make that happen. Moving back, we've got our Android Auto, Apple CarPlay that are grayed out because we don't have any phones connected anymore. We've got our user manual, so we can just do a QR code. We've got our notification center, so Blue Link is not active, but any notifications that come up for the vehicle, so updates and things like that would show up. We've got our voice memo there as well, so we can easily record memos if we want to, and we've got our record volume there as well. Moving back, we've got our radio, so we can actually get to the radio a few ways. So we've got our button along the very bottom there, so we can go to our all menu in radio, or we can just press this handy radio button along the top, and as you can see, we can go through all of our available presets there. And it is pretty straightforward. Like, let's say if we hop into our radio, we can change between different modes by pressing this button as well, so it's pretty straightforward. We can seek this way if we want to. We've got our tuning rocker there as well. So if we're changing to a station, as you can see there, so we're tuned at that station, we can press the star there to save it as a favorite. If you want to delete a saved station, you just go to the station, you press that button, and then it gets rid of that saved one. And as you can see, it can be a mix of AM, FM, Sirius XM as well, so you have quite a few different options available there. We can click unband in order to be able to change out, so we have quite a few options there. And let's just kind of move it down a little bit. So we can enter a channel if we want to go direct tune. We can scan for different options. We can go into our menu to turn the display off if we want. Button press there. We can go menu and look at our channel list. So we can see literally all the different channels that are available. And that's not just on the Sirius XM side of things. So if we go into our AM or into our FM, we go into our menu, into our station list, we can see literally every station that's currently available based off of our geographic location. And obviously this is, it's gonna take a tiny little bit longer, but as you can see there's a ton of different options that are available, and then we can easily star these things out as well. So we can save a number of presets. So if you're first getting your vehicle, I would definitely say this is where you wanna start. You wanna go to this page first, you wanna go into your station list, find all of your popular stations, and then you're just gonna star them out as necessary there. Moving back again, we have a few other options. So we've got our noise control, we've got basic info that shows up. We can delete all of our presets, or we can look at our sound settings. So we do have a few options there, so we can kind of adjust, you can kind of see it moving. So where do you want that noise to be, or where do you want the sound to be focused on? We can move it out this way if we want to kind of give it more of a pinpoint accuracy there as well. We've got our sound tuning, so we can change out our treble, mid-range, bass, which this is set up perfectly. This is where you want to live for incredible sound in this vehicle. We've got our driving guidance there as well. So our parking safety priorities. So as we go to back up, everything literally will lower down in order just so you can kind of keep attention a little bit more. The beeping that we're getting here, if that drives you nuts, you can adjust that as well. You can turn it on or off as well. A series of different system volumes, which I think is amazing because we've got the flexibility of being able to adjust specific volume. There we go. So you can adjust specific volumes. So as you get phone calls and things like that, you can adjust how loud each individual one is. Our phone projection, so we already saw the Android Auto, Apple CarPlay side of things, but for our guidance, same idea. We can literally select how loud each individual volume is there as well. So same idea. I think that is amazing. We've got so much flexibility here. Moving back, we've also got a few other options. So our start volume limit is an interesting one because if we've got the volume cranked, and we turn the vehicle off, when we go to turn it on again, it's not going to be blasting when we turn the vehicle on as well. We've got our noise control there as well, so we've got our noise reduction as an option, and then reset, so we can literally bring this back to our factory default settings instead. Moving back to the main screen, we can push home along the very top. All menus brings us back to this main menu again. Sliding out to the side, we've got media. So as of right now, no media connected, but if we had a USB stick with MP3s on it, if our phone was connected with Bluetooth audio, etc., we would have our different media options showing up there as well. And we can go through our different media options this way, or we can press the media button there as well. So as you can see, no Bluetooth audio, USB setup, etc. We've got our setup menu, which same idea, we can get to the setup menu there, or we can press setup along the right side, which jumps us into this screen. So a series of different options there. We've got our sound, which we already saw this one earlier. So treble, mid-range, bass, things like that. Device connections, same idea. We've already seen these ones earlier. Phone projection is where we're going for Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. We've got our display there as well. So as of right now, it's currently technically in the daytime mode. We can lock it out to the daytime or nighttime, but automatic means the vehicle's automatically going to adjust the brightness depending on how bright it is outside. We've got a blue light filter that we can literally schedule on as well. So if you drive later on at night, you can schedule it so that we've got a blue light filter on later on at night, just so you can sleep a bit easier. And one of the cool things is that when we go to turn the display off, we also do have a few options. So if we turn the display off, nothing's showing up. We can have it so that there's a digital or an analog clock there as well. So if you find the screen too distracting, you do have the option of turning it off with no options there whatsoever with an analog digital clock. We've got some different faces available there as well. We've got our base home screen, so we can literally adjust the way that these things are. We've got our change notifications, and the same idea, we can do a reset to reset all of our display settings back to their factory default as well. We've got two individual buttons there, so we've got this main button, so our star button there, which if we press that, we can select what it does for us. And same idea, we've also got one for our steering wheel. So with our steering wheel button, what is it going to cycle us between? I always recommend having it cycle between all of the available options, because when we press that button on the steering wheel, it literally does exactly that. So it switches us between AM, FM, Sirius XM, etc. as necessary. Moving back, we've got some general settings. So we've got our current model number, we've got some system info, so we can see our storage, our user manual, or we can reset everything. So if we're selling the vehicle, it brings us back to our factory default. We've got our date and time, which we saw this one earlier, because if we're on the home screen, we can just press the date there in order to jump into date and time as well. So we've got our daylight savings time, yes, no, 12, 24-hour mode as well. Language, we've got a few different options, so our English, French, Spanish, and Korean, and then we've got some options for our keyboard layout there as well. Moving back, we do have our Wi-Fi option there as well. So we've got Wi-Fi for phone projection, we can renew our passkey there as well, and we've got some advanced vehicle settings. So we've got the option of recirculating the air, we've got an auto vent, or our defog option there as well. And same idea, we can kind of get through these in different menus in different ways as well. And that's going to be the basics of our setup. Moving back, we've also got a valet mode. So we do have to activate Blue Link, but valet mode, what that's going to do is lock the screen out. So a valet driver can't just flip through and look at all of your different settings as well. So quite a little bit of flexibility there. And as you saw there, so we can button press to get into our radio, button press for different media sources, button press in order to be able to do a few different things as well. So we can literally have this set up as our home button now, which is cool because we press media, and that just to do, so we've got radio, we've got media, or we can press this button in order to get back to that home screen now instead. We can seek this way, we can press and hold to seek that way as well. We can jump into our setup, we've got a tuning rocker, and we've also got our volume rocker there as well. But that's going to be the basics of the media screen inside of this vehicle. So that was kind of neat, right? I do love the fact that even if we do have an Elantra that doesn't have factory navigation, we still can connect through Android Auto or Apple CarPlay to set up Google Maps, Apple Maps, Waze, things like that directly through the middle screen. Now, if you didn't catch it in the video, every app won't work through that screen as well. So certain ones will be work strictly over Bluetooth, like the YouTube app. Spotify is another one as well. You can't actually use it through Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, but you would be able to listen just over Bluetooth audio instead. But if you have any questions, you ran into any problems, drop down in the comment section below and let me know. More than willing to talk you through any issues you might be having. But if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your social networks. Think about subscribing, and until I see you next time, take care.